I always thought therapy was a safe place, a space where my thoughts were private, my pain was respected, and my secrets stayed between me and my therapist. But that belief shattered the moment my therapist, someone I had trusted for years, said something he never should have known about me. He looked me straight in the eye and said, "Clara, you shouldn't blame yourself for what happened that night at the cabin." I froze because I had never told anyone, not a single soul, about the cabin. Before I tell you how I uncovered the truth and why I'll never trust so easily again, make sure you like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon, because this story isn't just about betrayal. It's about how revenge can be the only way to take your life back. My name is Clara Winslow, and I started seeing Dr. Harris 5 years ago after a terrible breakup that left me emotionally drained. He was calm, kind, and had this patient way of listening that made you feel like you were finally being understood. He became the only person I could talk to freely. Every fear, every doubt, every memory. I gave it all to him, believing he'd help me heal. For years, he did. Or at least I thought he did. Then, a few months ago, something strange started happening. He began bringing up details about my life that I hadn't told him in years, or at all. He mentioned things like my new job title before I ever told him. And once, he asked how my neighbor with the red car was doing. But I had never mentioned my neighbor. When I asked how he knew, he smiled and said, "You must have told me before." I shrugged it off. Maybe I had forgotten. Maybe he was just observant. But that changed during one particular session, the day he mentioned the cabin. It was something from my past, a memory I'd buried so deep I'd barely admitted it to myself. It wasn't a crime or anything dark like that, just a place tied to deep pain, something personal and private. I'd never spoken about it, not to my parents, not to my ex, not to anyone. So when he looked at me that day and said, "You shouldn't blame yourself for what happened at the cabin," I felt like the air had been sucked out of the room. I asked him how he knew. He just smiled and said, "Sometimes people reveal things without realizing it." I didn't believe that. I went home shaking, heart racing, replaying every word I'd ever said in his office. Then I remembered something. 3 months earlier, he had asked if I'd be okay with sessions being recorded for accuracy and professional growth. I had agreed, thinking it was normal. But now I wondered who else might have heard those recordings. I called his office the next day. His assistant told me he'd left town for a conference. No details, no contact number, just gone. That's when the doubt turned into obsession. I spent hours going through old therapy notes and receipts. One file caught my eye, a statement from an email I didn't recognize. It was listed as consulting fee, personal review case CW102. My initials. So I searched that email online. It was linked to an online psychology forum, a private one where professionals discussed real client case studies. And right there, under an anonymous username, I found posts describing a female patient in her early 30s dealing with guilt related to an event at a family cabin. The description matched me exactly. He'd been using my sessions, my trauma, as content. My hands shook as I scrolled through pages of discussion threads where other therapists commented, analyzed, and debated my private experiences as if they were fictional case studies. I felt sick. I decided I wouldn't let him get away with it. But I also knew I couldn't just accuse him without proof. So I started digging deeper. Naomi, a close friend who worked in cybersecurity, helped me trace his online footprint. She discovered that he'd been forwarding his recorded therapy sessions to a cloud drive, one linked to the same username that posted my case online. There it was, the proof I needed. Naomi helped me access the files, and what I found made my skin crawl. There were dozens of recordings labeled by client initials. Mine were right at the top. He'd been using his patients' stories to build his reputation in that forum, gaining attention, referrals, and private consulting work, all by violating confidentiality. I decided to give him a taste of his own medicine. We created a fake profile, pretending to be a high-profile client, the daughter of a wealthy investor seeking therapy. Naomi crafted the emails perfectly. Professional, yet curious. Dr. Harris replied within hours, eager to schedule a private consultation outside his office for double his usual fee. Naomi and I met him at a downtown cafe, hidden microphones recording every word. I played the role of an assistant confirming the details, while Naomi sat nearby pretending to be the client. Halfway through, he started bragging about his experience, saying, "I've handled cases so unique, other doctors study my work." That's when I leaned forward and said, "You mean like Clara Winslow's case?" His face drained of color. He stammered, I don't know what you're talking about." I placed my phone on the table, the screen showing his forum post, the cloud folder, the recordings, everything. He went silent, completely frozen. Then I said, "You took my pain and turned it into your profit. Now I'm taking back what's mine." That night, Naomi and I sent the entire folder, recordings, emails, forum links, to the medical board and several journalists. Within 48 hours, it was everywhere. Headlines read, "Therapist leaks private client stories for online fame." His license was suspended, his practice shut down, and his reputation destroyed. A week later, I received an email from him. It was short. Just one line. "You could have handled this privately." I replied with 3 words. "So could you." It's been a year since then. I still go to therapy, but with someone new. Someone who actually values silence more than storytelling. Revenge didn't erase what he did, but it gave me something back. Control. Because sometimes healing doesn't come from forgiveness. It comes from making sure the person who broke you never hurts anyone else again.